Just give it a few. Okay, now it is broadcasting. So we're starting the session now. Okay, so we're going. What I propose is I'm going to share my screen and show the release note of the latest release of XWiki, which is version 9.8. So let me go there. Actually, this is Firefox. I don't want Firefox. Release notes 9.8. So can you see my screen? Does it work?
Can see it, yes.
Yes, okay, cool. Okay, so the biggest, the main work that we've done from a UI point of view recently is the new notifications mechanism. I will let Guillaume maybe present it, but just as a global presentation, this is a new way for being alerted about changes in the wiki. The goal is that it's going to replace the watch list and, if possibly, the activity stream also in the future. And you get a notification either on the top bar, at the menu on the right on the top bar, when you click on the bell symbol, or by email. So maybe Guillaume, can you explain what the latest changes you've made to that feature and the state and what's the plan for the future?
So what I've made in this version is to be able to add some new filters, but directly when you are on a page, you have the same toggles in the watch list. So you have the same toggles, but for the notification now.
Yes, on the screen that I'm showing now, there is some. It says notifications, and then you've got the toggles. Yes.
And so the idea was to mimic what the watchlist did, and that's why we want to replace the watchlist with this new module at the end.
Right.
And it is able to read already configurations that the user had with the watchlist before. So all the pages that you are watching with the watchlist before are now automatically watched with the notification modules.
So it's done by there is a migration that is done at the beginning or something?
It's just able to load the configuration from the watchlist.
So, but the watchlist in the future will be optional. So we won't bundle it anymore. But you mean that you will continue reading what's in the user profile?
Indeed, yes.
But yes, and that's not related to the watchlist because we lock it because it was not a class provided by the watchlist module. Let's say it was something hard coded into the user profile, so it will remain there. Yeah. Okay, I see.
And I think the more interesting version will be 9.9, the next version, where the filters work in a more intuitive way. So by default, everything will be watched. You will need to enable some event type, but then you can refine which location you want to watch. But it will be on by default. For every location, just like it is actually, but the toggle will show you how it is really.
Well, right now it's not really on. You need to activate. You need to say that you're watching something in the watch list.
Actually, in 9.8, the watch identity feature was something a bit special inside the notification module, and it was not taking into account which event type you wanted to follow.
No, I'm not mentioning that, Guillaume. I'm saying from a user point of view, they are currently on older version of XWiki, and they don't have the things watch by default at the moment, right? Today they need to activate, they need to say that they want to watch something. What you're saying is that starting from 9.9, it won't be the case anymore. Everything will be watched, and they will need to say that they want to stop watching things.
Yes, but you will have to enable some event type first.
Okay, so it's not by default. It's not. It's you need to activate them. Okay. Okay. It was not. I didn't understand what you're saying. I thought you wanted to change the behavior, but no, you're keeping the same behavior as now. The difference is that once you enable the pages, the event types for the pages, the system pages application, then they're all enabled by default. All pages, all entities are enabled by default, and you need to uncheck them if you don't want them, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Pascal, do you have any question on this? I don't know if it's easy to understand if you haven't followed the topic.
What? Sorry?
Is it that have you had a chance to look at the notifications, or is that the first time you are hearing about it?
Oh, sorry. I'm looking for a speaker. It is difficult to hear.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, I was talking about the notifications feature. What we were saying.
Listen, you might want to check the stream because on YouTube Live, it's not showing the person talking; it's showing a single person always.
Yes, that was the same as last time.
And also, can you raise the volume from the control room? Because Pascal cannot hear you.
Yeah, I can probably do that. I can raise the volume. What, my volume? No, that's. Is it stronger now? Can you hear me better? Okay, let's assume. Okay. Okay, now Eddie, regarding your comment, let me try to check on YouTube Live event if I can do something about it. Because I think it's maybe it's the type thing here that I chose quick. No, that's an encoder. Anyway, I think we need to look at that next time, Eddie.
Yeah, it's just fixed on one person. It's a bit awkward, but yeah.
So who is it on at the moment?
Pascal.
It's
Pascal?
just showing one person.
It's Pascal, okay.
In this case, it's Pascal, yeah.
So you're going to be famous, Pascal.
Sorry.
No, we're seeing your face on the YouTube Live. So I was saying that you're going to be famous.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Listen.
yes, Eddie.
Maybe it's because you clicked on him on the.
Okay, maybe I can change manually. You mean, like for example, yeah. Let's put Clément.
He looks to be.
So now it's Clément being broadcast.
I don't delay.
It's probably a delay.
Yeah, probably a bit of a few seconds. So let's see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it changed to.
Yeah, so try to click again
okay.
so that nobody clicked.
Yeah, but the
Unclick
problem
it.
I don't know how to unclick actually.
is that you're showing something on the
I can say present to everyone. What does this mean? No.
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 We see.
You just click and unclick him.
Yeah, but I can't click. I can click someone.
Now we can only see him. Yeah, on Hangout.
So,
Can you click your name?
so Katie, you want to be broadcast?
No, I want to see your.
You're mute. I can't hear you. I don't know why. Hide from broadcast. What's this little thing here? No, but anyway, let's move on. We need to understand how it works better next time. Okay, so it's going to be hard if Pascal cannot hear us well, and we're presenting mostly for him because the release notes we know about them ourselves. So Pascal, can you understand us? Can you hear us at least?
Yes. Now it's okay.
Okay, great. So let's try to continue the release note. So we were presenting the notifications feature, the new feature, and I was asking if you had a chance to check it out or to play with it or to read about it already.
No. I use the JT package just to debug some 8 XWiki versions.
Okay. Okay, and so have you seen what I presented and Guillaume presented a bit earlier about notification in the top menu?
I read the release note on the
Okay.
XWiki site.
Okay, and you think it's a good thing, or are you will you be using this, or you don't care, or?
No, probably we will use this.
Okay, at the moment, are you using the activity stream, or have you removed it, for example?
No. Activity stream is displayed on our front page site.
Okay. Okay, the one problem is that it's a bit slow, so that would be a good thing for you. This is supposed to be faster when we have that.
No, it is the breadcrumb. Breadcrumb is very slow.
What do you mean breadcrumb? You mean navigation panel?
Yes.
On the left?
No, on the top.
You mean when you click the breadcrumb?
Yeah. But I show you that on our site.
Oh, you don't have something to show us, by the way? That would be cool.
No, not now, but later I will allow you to access at our site.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have on this 9.8? So we had sorry, I closed the release notes. Okay, so we had the notifications, progressing on the watch list. The idea is that we will be able to replace the watch list in what, in 9.9, I guess, Guillaume? Yes, and for the activity stream a bit later, but at least it is a kind of activity stream already. But I mean replacing in terms of having an equivalent activity stream macro that can be showing all the changes of the wiki. Okay, live table user filter. Okay, that's very interesting. Also for you, probably Pascal, is we've improved on the previous version and this version a lot the filters that you have in live tables. I remember you at some point you did some pull requests for improving some filters, and so we've worked on that. We now have a very nice date picker filter and one for the DB list filter, etc. starting to be quite good with sort of suggest here, as you can see on the screenshot.
So, can you select your screen?
It's not sharing. It's not. I'm not presenting my screen.
No, because you're selected Clément. Or at least on the live stream.
It says you are screen sharing.
Yeah, you should probably click on your screen that is just at the right of Thomas. It should share your computer screen, and when you will get out of the Hangout conversation, you will be able to share your.
Okay.
Yeah. It should work like that.
Yes, to infinity and beyond. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yes, I was showing this. I was showing the new filter for this is what a DB list one probably. Yeah. Okay. What else? We have the ability to import from Office again in CK Editor. We had lost this when we moved from GWT to CK, so that's cool. Actually, the previous one was the user filter. It was not DB list, it was user filter. And we also have a DB list filter here with suggest input. Okay, and the database list, database list properties and database list, yes. Okay, that's cool. And then it's for developers. I don't think we need to go into that. Okay, and Clément, maybe you can tell us a bit about the what you're working on.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. Since like about 1 month and a half, I've been trying to work on notification of on the ability that an administrator has to be notified when a new version of the platform is released. Currently, it's kind of a work in progress because, well, I'm having some troubles to work on XWiki and to pursue my studies. But hopefully, I really hope that it's gonna be really ready for 9.9, I guess. And the second idea after that will be to send a notification to the administrator when a new version of any extension installed in the wiki is available. But I have to work with maybe with Thomas in order to do so, because I don't really know how the extension management works.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, I saw you committed on a branch at the moment. I haven't checked the code yet, but maybe Thomas has. But that's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Then a lot of people are asking us to upgrades, but they don't. That's another thing. And it's and we actually already have it. I guess those people are probably using the manual war install. And they expect it to be upgradable, but that's not that easy. That's not that simple.
Yeah.
We should probably, by the way, not recommend this installation anymore, and probably more highlight more and push more people to use the other ones.
Well, then maybe we should provide like alternative installation methods. For example, right now we provide installations for the Debian installs or Ubuntu installs, but we might have other users that use, for example, I don't know, CentOS or Fedora, and it's not the same packaging system.
No. Yes, yeah, sure. I guess the problem is that we don't have anyone in the team at the moment who can work on this or who knows about this. Yeah. We have the Docker one also, which can provide, it's not the click of a button to upgrade, but it's almost that. It's one line. it's one line actually, one command line. Okay. So what do you want, Pascal? Since you are here,
Yes.
maybe you can tell us a bit more about how you see your external point of view of XWiki product, and how are there features that are interesting to you that you're expecting, for example, that you would like to see in the near future, or are there some that we are preparing that you are waiting for? Or are there some that we are not working on that you would like to see at some point?
I didn't think about this for the moment, because I have some difficulty to customize our site. Then I have no idea for now.
Yeah, I see with the forum. On the forum, you post a lot of questions related to deep customization.
Yes, too much, maybe.
So yeah, that's for sure. And are you also using extensions? Existing extensions?
Sorry?
Are you using extensions from extensions.xwiki.org?
The standard extension and accordion extension now. But doc accordion, I don't know if the committer still there.
Probably not, I would say. It's an old one. I think I don't know which one it is, but maybe they are actually. I don't know. I don't know this extension. Maybe someone else knows about it. Okay, so only those. Oh, cool. We have one new user joining. Hey, hi, Ben. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, nice to see you here.
Hello, nice to see you too. I'm Ben Megson. I thought I'd dial in. We've been chatting a little bit on.
Yeah. That's nice. That's
platform.
nice. Yeah, we've seen your name on the forum. That's pretty cool.
Good. Sorry, I'm late, by the way.
Yeah, don't worry. It's just the second time we're doing this, and we're still not really good at it. So we're starting a bit late and trying to figure out how it works.
Good.
Okay, so we had see there are about 6-7 person here. Most of us are developers of the product, and you are 2 users, but actually also contributor, because Pascal, who is here, it's labeled as Dom on the chat on the Hangout. He's also a contributor, user and contributor. And the rest, so we're developers of the product. And Clément also here is also contributing when he can. He's also a committer of the project. Cool. So we actually started presenting the release notes for XWiki 9.8, the latest version. Maybe you can tell us on which version are you on, Ben?
I'm on 9.5.1 at the moment.
Okay, that's pretty
transitioning to the latest one as soon as possible. So just a little bit of background about myself, if you want.
Yes, please.
I work for Rolls-Royce in the UK.
Nice name.
Nice, yeah. It's an interesting place. Probably not as cool as it sounds, actually, but but there you go. So myself and a couple of others, we've been trying to push out the idea of a wiki in what I would call a very hostile environment for wikis. Data security, export control, defense problems, because we work for the British government, the French government, the United States, all that kind of stuff. So it's an interesting environment to try and set a wiki up in, given the potential breaches that there can be in data policy.
But it's an internal wiki, right?
It is an internal wiki, yes.
Yeah.
But different people, there's something that we call the need to know. So the company aren't allowed to know certain information. So someone that sat next to you can't listen to your phone calls, that kind of stuff.
I see.
So I've kind of taken XWiki and used your rights management to try and establish different levels of collaboration.
Okay.
That's worked really well, actually. It's been quite interesting. And the uptake is positive. So we're running it as a pilot to try and show some of our knowledge management heads that it can be done. Encountering a bit of resistance from the heads, but the users are loving it and they think it's a very good tool. So hopefully over the next couple of months, if this pilot goes well, then we can roll it out as a corporate solution. So there you go.
Sounds cool. Were you using another wiki before, or is it the first wiki you're setting up?
No, first wiki. First wiki.
Okay, sounds challenging and nice.
Yeah.
Why did you pick XWiki?
Sorry, who said someone said something?
Yeah, I was asking why did you pick XWiki out of the other wikis?
Couple of reasons. You seem to have a good search, a good integrated search, which was quite important because it was just me setting it up. So I didn't really have the time to tie it into any corporate search. And our corporate search isn't that good either. I also like the idea of being able to kind of do some development in the background with, skins very quickly, and the rights management was a big thing. I'm not sure if XWiki, if MediaWiki is quite as good. So those were the two main reasons. I just reading around the net, it felt like the right tool to use, really. Mm-hmm. And no, I'm happy. I think I made the right choice.
Cool. Are you a developer yourself?
No, I'm a mechanical engineer, but I enjoy a bit of coding. So I do a lot of Python. I'm not used to JavaScript or Velocity or Groovy or any of these things. So the last 2 months has been interesting, to say the least.
So maybe when you are a bit more familiar with XWiki, you could try the Python scripting feature.
Yeah, I've been meaning to give that a try for a while. That'd be amazing. Especially if we have lots of Python tools floating around the company, so it'd be nice to try and integrate those and pull them in.
Yep. Yeah, well, there are several levels of usage of XWiki for sure. You can use it as it is, then start doing customization, which is what you seem to be doing at the moment. And then there is the third level, which is when you start diving into the APIs and do scripting and be able to do even more advanced stuff to push the customization even further.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, guys, do you have questions for Ben, or should we? Do you have other topics that you want to discuss? So we finished the release notes, talking about the release notes, but we can talk about other stuff. Any question from anyone? So Ben, what are you expecting from this meeting yourself? Anything special? Anything you want to know?
I was just going to listen in actually, and see what you guys are up to. Maybe ask a few questions. But I'm happy listening at the moment if you guys have got stuff to talk about.
Okay. Well, actually, on my side, I'm personally very interested in knowing more about our users, and especially about you, how you use XWiki, what you do with it, what the challenges that you face, etc. But maybe others have other stuff that they want to bring up or discuss. Cathy, you said you had some topics you wanted to. Actually, I can't hear you, Cathy.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know, my microphone is not working, so I rely on Edward's. Yeah, for Ben, I also give 2 links there for the workflow application if he wants to check that out, and the Python macro in the chat. I'm not sure if it's visible. On the recording is not, but anyway.
Oh, yep. Yep, I can see a couple of links. Yep.
Me, I was just wanting to make sure that Clément knows about the proposal for the notifications.
Yeah,
There were-
I read it. I read them, and they are quite nice actually.
Okay, so there are, for Pascal and Ben, there are some proposals for the notifications, how we could improve the look and maybe add some avatars. We run this kind of design discussions on the developers list. Maybe it would be interesting to also have them on the forum. Not sure if they would want to participate or if they would find this interesting.
Yeah.
Ben, have you seen the notifications feature already? Have you tried it a bit?
Yes, actually, the notifications feature was one of the reasons I selected XWiki too. It's working well. I use it quite a bit to obviously keep track of who's adding what and that kind of stuff in different spaces. One thing I did notice, or is on my wish list, I suppose, is in the emails. When you turn email notifications on, whether it would be possible to have a clearer kind of understanding of what's changed, maybe in the subject matter field, so that you can apply some filters in your Outlook filters, for example, so that you can divide different notifications in different positions.
Okay, I think, well, just to understand what you're saying, we had a feature, we had two features, existing features called watch list and activity stream.
Yeah.
And we are actually working on the next feature called notifications. That's how we call it.
Okay.
They're all about notification in some way, but they're
Yep.
three separate things. So I think what you've experienced is the watch list feature. I mean, receiving by email changes. So you subscribe to pages or to spaces or to wikis.
Yep.
And when there are changes, you get an email with the changes. And you probably subscribe to real-time notification, maybe? I don't know if you've tried that one.
No, I didn't in XWiki 9.5 because I think you guys said it was
experimental. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but now what we were discussing now was the new notifications feature, and this one it's a bit confusing because there are the two that coexist in your wiki.
Right.
And the new one is available from the bell icon in the top level menu.
Okay.
I don't know if you've clicked there.
Yeah, I've been in there, yeah.
If you click there, then at the top, you will see the watch list, the three buttons for the watch list. And then just below, there is a notifications area that you can go to, and you can click on settings. It will go to your profile, user profile, and there you can say what you want to be notified about.
Yep.
That's the new feature. Now, regarding what you're saying on the email, I'm not sure I understood. You wanted to that when you look, because you will receive one email every so many hours, like one every hour or one every day, and it will contain all the modified content that you selected.
Yeah.
And the title, I don't remember what the title says. It says something like number of documents modified or something like this.
The problem is that the watch list sends like daily or hourly, so it's kind of hard to make filters because if 3 people did deletes and 5 did edits, what do you put in the subject?
Would it be possible to group them maybe into, so if you had 5 people doing a delete and 3 people doing a create, then they come in the same email?
Yeah, so
that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you selected, for example, to receive every hour, then all the changes that has been done during that hour will be grouped into a single email.
Right. Okay. I probably hadn't noticed that. So yeah, lots of things. Sorry.
No problem.
No, and regarding Guillaume, I will try to make another proposal for notification to look like watch list. I didn't understand from his email, his request. first I thought that you wanted the tree in the notification menu. Better integrate.
Do we also plan to have real-time notifications?
Yeah, we should, because it's a feature of the watch list. If we want to replace it, I don't think we want to lose that.
Edward, actually, as far as I know, we have real-time notifications on email, and probably also in the UI, because it's like just refreshing the page.
Okay, so you're saying they're not real-time because you need to refresh the page?
Yeah, we could have something that checks periodically if we have new notifications and refreshes the notification center. And it shouldn't be that hard, maybe.
So does that apply for email as well?
Yeah, actually, currently you have, if you have the feature turned on in your preferences, you get an email 10 minutes after a modification has been made on the document that you follow. And if there is a multiple modification during this 10 minutes period, then they are grouped in the same email.
Okay, because I also noticed the intervals like in the old watch list with daily, hourly, whatever, and I thought they're only scheduled.
Yeah. Well, that is done, but we just added basically a new option that is like you can have it daily, hourly, but you can also have it live, and this is this 10 minutes period that I'm talking about. So you have it at t plus 10 minutes. It's not that far.
Okay, so almost real time. Okay.
Yeah. And anyway, I put a link to where we stand today. This is something done by Guillaume. See what features we're still missing in the new notifications to be on par with the old watch list feature, and before we can phase out the old watch list and replace them officially with the new one. So there's still some stuff. If you know of more stuff, then please add it to the page, that we can make sure that we don't forget it. Okay, Ben, I have a question. Have you upgraded XWiki already, or is it your first install without upgrading yet?
No, it's the first install because I've had to do this quite quickly, and as I was learning, I've modified some of the template files directly rather than doing it the proper way by overriding them from the skin.
Yeah.
So I think from what I understand, if I upgrade now, that might cause me some problems.
Yeah, indeed.
So what we're doing at the moment is we run the instance with 200 users on a virtual server, and I've just taken an image of that virtual server, and now what I'm going to start to do is develop that bit properly, and then once I've got everything sorted out, then try the upgrade and see what happens.
Okay.
With the idea of then merging obviously in all pages from the active instance, and then everyone should be active.
The only issue you could have is if you've overridden, if you've modified, you've copy pasted the templates in the skin, portion of templates in the skin, and you made modifications there, and if we have also modified them, then you may not have those features unless you merge them. That's why also why we started introducing what we call UI extension points more and more. I don't know if you've noticed that. This is a way that you can plug different UI behavior in various parts of the wiki, but without having to write a new skin or to override templates files.
Yep.
Okay, Cathy, you wanted to say something else, maybe on the proposals or something? I thought you had one about the extension manager.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other proposal was some improvements in the style of extension manager. So I written a bit of rating and the layout, and the biggest change was the one about pricing that you also commented.
Yeah. I didn't see much difference for the rest. I mean, they're nice and little, but they're little. The big one was the pricing. That's actually that's a good point. That's a question for Ben. I don't know, Ben, if you've seen on the forum. I've sent an email regarding paying extensions.
I haven't seen that. No, is that a new one?
Well, it's a concept of paying extensions. Today, most of the extensions that you find on extensions.xwiki.org are free extensions. You don't need to pay anything to use them. There are two that are advertised there that are paying. One is called Active Directory Integration, and the other one is OnlyOffice Integration. So so one of the things we are, a lot of us here, developers, are also from a company called XWiki SAS, and we're sponsored by this company to develop the software in open source. And what the company wants to do in the future is to start developing more paying extensions, including taking some that we developed and put as free, and forking them and starting to improve them even more and marking them as paying.
Right.
So I sent an email about the strategy and what we wanted to do, but I sent that email as a way to start an open discussion with the community and see if people had any issue with that or the way they were feeling about this announcement. The reason we're doing this, the reason XWiki SS is doing this is very simple. Is that at the moment there are too many people taking the software as open source and free, and not contributing back either code or money in some way. And
it sounds sensible.
Yeah, so we needed to find some ways to re-inject more money into the development of XWiki and to push it forward even more. So that's one possible strategy, is to have a set of paying extensions, and that if you need to use, you would get a license for, and you would pay for.
Fair enough. We're actually considering the Active Directory one, obviously, because we'll need to tie XWiki in with our Active Directory to just for security reasons when we go live.
Okay.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah. So So there's one if you want to try using it.
Fair enough.
Okay. Cathy, you had a list of stuff you want to discuss. Anything more?
I was curious what Pascal thinks about the mail with paying extensions.
Which extension? Which one?
This one? The one that states the new strategy with the paying extensions. There's a forum entry. Let me try to find it.
I didn't understand.
Feel free to speak in French, by the way. Don't mind me.
Quelle extension tu parles en fait?
I don't speak English, so so I've linked the forum. If you at least
I didn't
maybe
understand which extension you're talking about.
So in that forum entry, we're talking about a new strategy where we might fork some of the most popular extensions and provide them as paying extensions. So trying to focus more on the paying part. And the question was, you as a community member, what do you think about this?
So actually, I reached out to Pascal already, Cathy, a few days ago, a week ago, and I asked his opinion. And what he told me is that he understood. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pascal. I'm trying to represent what you said. That he understood that they were not using that many extensions for the moment. And the main point of Pascal was to see if there was a way for someone who contributes to those paying extensions, if they could get some free licenses if they did that. This is what I incorporated into the proposal. So that's also for Ben. What we said is that if there are some projects who are open source or non-profit association or people who contribute to those paying extensions, then they would receive free licenses. Use them.
Yes, yes, that's it. Thanks.
I think one thing that I would say, Vincent, is when I was looking at XWiki and trying to choose what software I was going to use, the fact that you guys had so many free extensions that I could just plug in and try and stuff was very appealing.
Yes.
So that, you know, it was an added weight and that swayed me towards choosing XWiki.
Yeah.
So there would be a balance somewhere.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
might control.
I understand. And if you go on the other way of the spectrum, when you go to the Atlassian marketplace, for example, for Confluence, you see the other way around. It's almost everything is paying, and there are very, very few free ones.
Yeah.
So indeed, there is a balance between those two directions, those two end of the spectrum.
Exactly, because I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done in Rolls-Royce without it being free, obviously, because I've had 3 years of people telling me that they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it, and you know, I've essentially found some money for my time, found a guy with a server that could connect it into our systems and that kind of stuff, you know. So I've done it for practically nothing, thanks to you guys and the fact that it's open source and free, almost, well, completely free at the moment.
Right. And we don't want to change the name. We want to make sure that XWiki standard, what we used to call XWiki Enterprise before, that this one stays free forever. So that's everything you need to use XWiki. We don't want it to be a crippled product and that you can only use the crippled version or the low featured version when you don't want to pay anything. So we try. The idea is that those extensions would be add-on and very specific add-ons, not generic ones that you would need. So we're trying to pick those. Yes. On the other hand, we're also trying to pick the ones that we worked on and that are of good quality enough to be sold. Yeah. Because there are a lot contributed by community, but there are a lot also that are not that great, or they're not being supported, or they have some limitations. So yeah, but the free versions will still exist. So the idea is that we would fork anyway. So if anyone from the community wants to continue on those, that would be also possible. Okay. But I understand your point. Good point. Okay, so it's almost an hour now. Anyone else want to say something? Or should we wrap up, or do you have any questions? Oh, sorry, my phone keeps ringing.
Well, I've got a few more questions, if you don't mind. In terms of rights management, Katy, I'm probably looking at you here because I know you put something on the forum a few months ago about this. What direction are we heading in? What are the kind of the big things you're thinking of adding? Is there going to be maybe ways to control objects in pages? Because I think I did ask this question on the forum once, actually, and I'd be quite interested, obviously, in being able to lock down certain parts of a page for security reasons.
So currently we're not actively working on rights. On the forum, that was a proposal made for a revamping of the UI and maybe testing if the user would want the notion of roles. The other part would be really nice to do, but would be like a tertiary priority maybe. Again, depends what is voted in the roadmap. Currently, this is not. Lisa, do you have any opinions about rights improvements in the future? Yeah, I guess Vincent is talking at the phone because
no, I'm here. Yeah, sorry about my webcam not working. That's why you don't see me. Rights, yeah. Well, Katy has done some new designs for rights. some new UI, because we found that it's pretty powerful on the right system in XWiki, but it's also pretty complex. And our UI is not helping. Well, we revamped it once, but we know it's still pretty complex. So Katie did some new designs for that. But we haven't had the time, and it's not on the it was not on the internal XWiki SIS roadmap so far.
Right.
And nobody else from the community has volunteered to work on this. So the way this roadmap works, Ben, is that it's a mix. It's usually a mix of strategy decisions from XWiki SIS internally in the company,
Right.
combined with needs from the clients that XWiki SIS has and their needs. And so we vote this, we discuss this internally, and then we make a proposal to the list. And then it's the various committers who take that under their wing for bringing it to the open source project and for implementation.
Yep.
And then other people from the community who wants to do things can also bring their ideas and what they want to work on. Right now, so far, there's been not really many needs asked for by clients for this. And the way it works is, from time to time, there are clients who want to sponsor some features, and that's usually when we can actually progress quite fast on a given feature.
Right.
Because usually either they have some custom development that they want to integrate with their own stuff, and that's not really generic. That doesn't trickle back into the product. What does trickle back in the product is when they have want to sponsor some features that's generic, like this one, for example. So the reality is that at the moment there is no strong incentive from the company point of view to work on this feature, but we do know that we would need to work on that at some point, because we know that there are some improvement that we could make.
Okay.
And regarding objects, rights on XObject, again, that's also not being worked on.
I've found an interesting way around it, and I think someone suggested it on the forum, and the event listener overwriting the object seems to work all right for now. So
you were able to write an event listener?
Yes, I've got a few going.
In Groovy?
In Groovy and Velocity.
So in Wiki Components, using Wiki Components?
No, just in the what is it? Just the first one in the tutorial. So
okay, so you're manually registering in the wiki page in the script.
Exactly, yeah. So it's just a script.
So it means that when you restart the wiki, it's not enabled anymore.
No, it is actually.
It is?
Yeah. So I follow whatever the tutorial is, whatever the first one in the tutorial is. That's what I did, because that's the first one I tried and it was easier. So it's the one where there's 3 objects in a sheet.
Okay. So that's what we call wiki components.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
So indeed, this one is restarted. Yes, it started. That's the official good way of doing it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I have that, and that essentially. So you might have noticed on the forum that I have a few drop-down lists, and the drop-down lists are classify the data, and then that I read in the event listener or in the back, or I have it in an event listener and in a bit of code in the page itself, that then applies rights to the page according to whatever the classification is. Okay. And then different people of the wiki obviously have different rights according to what project they're on and that kind of stuff. So it's quite powerful and it works quite well.
Okay, that's cool. That's pretty advanced, actually.
I don't know about advanced. It didn't feel advanced when I was stumbling my way through, spending 5 hours for 2 lines of code. But yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why it's advanced.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice. Nice to see. That. Because that wasn't something planned initially, so it's nice to see that you're combining stuff together to make something that wasn't even planned.
Yeah, I'd like to show you it actually. I could probably show you if you had time.
That would be nice, very nice. Yes.
And would you like to see it? Can I share screens on here?
I think you can do that.
Let me just see if I can connect to my VPN simultaneously. Bear with me a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm trying to see. Yeah, normally, unless maybe I need to give some permissions. No, it should be by default. Okay. What else?
And the last topic was that now we have the comparison pages on XWiki.
Yes,
So
right.
People will have more knowledge in other tools.
Yeah, we're not the best persons placed here to discuss that, but that would be great to have some media. So we have some MediaWiki and Confluence comparison page now on XWiki.org. We've tried to be as fair as possible when writing these comparisons. But we don't know those tools that well. So that's why we ask on the forum for feedback from people who actually use those tools to verify that we didn't say anything completely wrong or not right.
Or maybe they have other ideas of strong features or weak features. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Aha, nice. I can see something.
There you go. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. I might have to be a little bit careful what I show you.
Yeah, be careful, it's broadcast.
So as you can see, I've done a little bit of basic theming, nothing too crazy. And I've added quite a bit in the homepage just to try and warn people and stuff. Which is quite interesting. These guys some people have put a few comments at the bottom.
Yeah.
As you can see, quite interesting. This is when they registered. So what I was going to show you is.
By the way, did you have any trouble editing the homepage, or was it easy?
No, it was easy. It was easy
cool.
enough. Let me actually bring this up. Yeah, so and the word importer was another reason I chose XWiki, by the way. So because obviously all our content at the moment is in Word.
Yes. So you use that?
Yes. Yeah. Very good. As a more advanced feature, I'd like to change something in future, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. Just
so you should know that in XWiki 9.8, you're actually able to import from Office inside the CK editor directly.
Right.
So when you're editing a document, and then at some point in on your document, you want to import something from another document, Word document, for example, you can do that.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So these are the features I've added into the bottom. Okay. And I've added in quite a lot of, well, I've tried to add in live validation and server-side validation. I'm not sure if I'm using the right terminology, but there you go.
So that looks cool. Is that an application within minutes?
No. So I tried it first,
yeah.
And then I can't remember who told me that I couldn't do it because I want this appearing on any page. And obviously, you can only have one sheet per page. So whenever I tried to load a diagram, for example, that wouldn't appear. So this is why I've hijacked your template files, and I've just inserted a couple of lines.
I see.
Yeah, that read from a velocity, read from a wiki page essentially, and then in the background, where is it all? How did I do this?
That's a nice location. For example, I never thought that we could have an extension point in the edit mode.
No, footer content. Yeah, where footer content, we should have one. We have header content.
It's before the save, so it's after the editor.
Yeah, I did look for an extension point because that was the first recommendation on the forum. but there wasn't an extension point there, so I just added it in the VM manually, and then had a few problems after that.
So you did that manually, Ben, but it's data that are added with XWiki classes, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they all have XWiki classes in the background. Let me just show you.
Pages. So the pages have object, XWiki object, and the sheet from the VM gets those objects and display them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so if I go into so it's here. It's part of this class.
All right, cool. Cool.
And these bits here are they're done all programmatically based on what's in this object here. So that's how I do it essentially. But no, very very useful. But obviously I need an event listener to make sure that these bits here don't get overwritten by a user, a random user. Okay. Otherwise, setting rights doesn't really work because anyone can override them.
Right.
So okay, so that's where my previous question was coming from. Yeah. So there you go.
You could have done, depends what's your need, but you could have done set rights at a level of a top level page or space, and then protected that page only.
Yes. The problem is I've gone for a very flat structure. So I've removed. Yeah, this is the funny thing. All my pages are terminal. I enforce terminal pages because I wanted to make it as simple as possible for the users and just keep it all flat. I can't really explain why I've done that, but it's just I didn't want a user having to worry about where he put the file. I just wanted him to click create and let it go wherever I've told it to go. And then I was going to move this and change the breadcrumbs to the parent-child relationship, and then just use that and keep it all as one big amorphous soup. And obviously in the same space, then you might have documents that are private, some that are public, some that are from another project. So we in defense in Rolls-Royce need this. We're starting to apply the idea of metadata on every document we create. So every single document everywhere in our company will have its own rights applied to it rather than kind of folder-based rights because they're not very flexible. So obviously moving into a database model, the idea would be that, everything sits in a flat amorphous soup, and then the search and the API is in charge of figuring out who can do what.
I see.
So, yeah. Yes, interesting. But there you go.
It's very nice. I'm very happy to see that because you really, I'm quite impressed, at least, actually.
Are you?
Yeah, I am, because you're using quite advanced features.
Well, I don't know about that. I added in these lines the other day, which were quite interesting. I used one of your tutorials for a what do they call it? A style extension point, which was very useful for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Style sheet, yeah.
Style sheet extension point. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, there you go. So I won't bore you any longer.
Cool. That was nice thank you very much for sharing this. Guys, on my side, I will need to go soon. I have some playing table tennis, and my session is going to start soon. So thank you. I don't know if someone else wants to say something. On my side, I will need to leave. You can continue if you want.
It's a bit late, but it was nice to see Ben and how he hacked the help section and the homepage and put his own them. No,
I'm sorry for defacing your wiki.
No, it's good. It's good.
It's nice to see in the wild wikis. Okay.
Yeah, if anyone's ever in Bristol, by the way, and you want to come in and see what we've done, we'd be more than happy to have you.
Okay, thank you. That's nice.
Thank you. Well,
so Vincent, do you know when our next meeting would be?
It will be probably in 1 month. I will post tomorrow a new date on the forum.
We started with 1 user, then
we have 2.
No, we
have to.
Now the challenge is for the next meeting to have 3 users.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you everyone. So let's wrap this up.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you next time. Bye.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care.
See you online.
Bye.
Bye.